Hey everyone, so I have a question from a friend and a viewer. Um, Here goes. Is there any room for organized religion in modern times, or should humanity evolve beyond it? If so, do you think spirituality will be purely individualistic in nature, or will people still gravitate towards those who are like-minded? If that's so, will that in turn cause for an inevitable rebirth of organized religion? In essence, is organized religion an inherent part of the human experience? Okay, so I think we can start off by saying organized religion. It depends on how we see it. I think, personally, that people will always gravitate towards um, those who are like-minded. Even, say, if in a community of 100,000 people, if 25,000 of them were sages, odds are a good number of them will gravitate towards each other because they understand each other and they can appreciate their shared attitudes. So I think there will always sort of be some kind of collective going on. But I also feel that in another way there won't be the same sort of sheep mentality. It's not that I think there's a difference between herd mentality, which is common today in most religions, and actual grouping together of like-mindedness. If you and I, if you're watching this and you agree with me, you may subscribe to my videos, you may begin to listen to what I'm saying, and vice versa for you. And we might have some interesting discussions, we'll organize things together, because there's some kind of connection that we have, some kind of idea or concept that we both agree on and understand. And that's just on, an abstract level, a rational level, attitudes we both agree with. But, so I think those are really the two major distinct points here, that there is, in modern times and in older times, this sort of mentality that, oh, we must stick together, we must stick with what is safe and secure, and not move past it, and we must stay with people who are like-minded, who will keep us safe and secure and reinforce our worldview. I do think that organized religion, as it is, will shift to a more individualistic religion, where the individual's importance will play a better and bigger role. But at the same time, it'll just be a bunch of people who agree with each other, but aren't following each other blindly like sheep. And this actually reminds me a little bit of what Nietzsche, I don't know. I've heard like 5 different ways to say his name, but his whole deal was that there's the greatest kind of human being is the Superman, and that the Superman will do whatever he wants because he can and he should, because he contributes to the culture and allows a culture to thrive or whatever. I don't. That's the gist of what I learned in philosophy club. But I don't think it'll gravitate as much towards that as it will just really appreciation of each other's attitudes and mental, the conceptual understanding. And I don't know if that answers the question or not, or if it just raises more questions. Questions and answers and questions. But I think eventually, I think it'll most realistically go like this. There'll be a time where we're going to begin to dwindle from organized religion as it is now, which is simply it's steeped in tradition, it's steeped in habits and methods and securities. That will dwindle, and if you look at Europe, you actually see that happening right now. You see less of a conservative attitude of religion, less of a moderate attitude of religion, and more of just a disinterest in old forms and old patterns. It's as if we kind of see past it at this point, and unless the religion adapts to our newer and more developed sense of understanding, it was basically ignored and left to get dusty. I mean, I hear of a lot of churches in Europe that are just collecting dust or getting dirty, abandoned churches, things like that. I think will become more common for a while. I think it'll take some time for us before we actually begin to come back to religion and appreciate it from a more individualistic yet collective level. we'll start to see, we'll come together as a group, but not because of specific dogmas that we all agree on, more so because we will be at a world-centric level, and we won't need to force the coming together. We'll just sort of see, hey, we're all human beings. And hey, you know what? All these old religions, they had something going. They had some underlying patterns that we can all agree with. And because of that, let's hang out. I mean, that's what it'll basically come to. People will be coming together because we're all alive, we're all human beings, and we can appreciate each other. And maybe there is some kind of underlying spiritual path that we can take. And if you look in Europe, I mean, I don't know if that's going on as much, but I can see that happening eventually. And to go into a little bit of a side note, I mean, we are entering the age of Aquarius, right? The age of Aquarius is supposed to be falling away from the herd mentality and going into the whole, thinking societies and an age of enlightenment, supposedly. I don't know, but as far as how it will look, yeah, I think it'll look more like that. Falling away from traditional dogma, but coming together eventually in a new form of understanding of who we are and what we are spiritually. And I hope that sort of answers the question, or at least raises some more. Okay, and stay tuned for more videos.